Hello, hello. Happy evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm going to get set up real quick. I hit start before I was ready, of course. While I'm doing that, if y'all want to go ahead in the chat, introduce yourself, say where you're from, what you're having for dinner since it's dinner time. Oh my gosh, I just read Buffalo, New York, and I immediately got cold. I bet Colorado's also just as cold. I was just in San Diego. Can confirm it was not cold. I'm in Dallas, and it was a beautiful day. That's great. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I see some ambassadors in here. Hello, guys. Hello, hello. Okay, so if you're just now joining us, we are putting our name in the chat and where we're from. Um, if you'd like to tell me the weather, because I'm guessing that it's probably cold anywhere north of here. Uh, my sister lives in Wisconsin, and so I've been getting pictures from her. Oh, we have someone from Singapore. Very cool. Oh my gosh, I bet Michigan. I'm cold thinking about Michigan. That's awful. Well, not awful. If you love the cold, that's great. I feel like my soul location, like soulmate, is Seattle. Like the dreary, wet, very much my vibe. Okay. Ooh, rain's coming later this week in San Diego. Good to know. I was just there last week for a work retreat, and it was beautiful weather. We played outside as much as we could. So where we were staying had like a tennis court, and we played volleyball. So it was a lot of fun. I don't know if everyone here has had a chance to interact with a lot of the people on the Robolink team, but we're a competitive bunch. It was kind of fun. Uh, Jean Pierre and Kel. I don't know if anyone knows Kel, but you might know Jean Pierre. Very good at ping pong. Was not expecting it. It was like one of those things where it's like there's like probably worked up a sweat, having to take steps back to get a full swing in. It was impressive. Whereas no, I need a couple bounces to get my ball over the net. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and get started. I am messing with the view and I'm hoping that y'all see what I want you to see. So we'll get to that in a second. First, welcome. My name is Frankie Baker. I'm community manager for Robolink. So what that means is I launched our ambassador program last year. For those that are interested, our ambassador program is opening up the applications next month. Very exciting. And then we are also about to launch a certified educators program, which is also launching next month. So that's what I've been hard at work at. I also help out with our EDU team. So Robolink learns what we're talking about today. I'm super excited about. I've been privy to a lot of the conversations backstage. For those that don't know, Robolink Learn is our curriculum. Previously, it was called Basecamp. It is written in-house by former educators, and so we're very proud of it. And I'm excited that y'all are here to learn about it and get a walkthrough. At our previous community webinar, I kind of touched on it. I had some screenshots because at that time, that's all I had access to. But now it is live. It is ready for everyone to get to deep dive in on it. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Can someone confirm that it's not flip-flopped? Because it's looking flip-flopped on my end, like my screen. Can someone put in the chat? It's okay. It's not flipped for y'all. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Okay, so for those that want to go along with me, perfect. I love that idea. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. It is learn.robolink.com. If you go to the main site, you can also access it in the upper right-hand corner for lessons. And so either way, gets you to Robolink Learn. It does say beta, and the reason for that is we want to make sure that y'all know like this is not a work in progress because we're past that. but there might be some kinks. We're still uploading content. So we want to make sure that the beta is just kind of a disclaimer of, hey, you might see some tweaks that need to happen. Please reach out. And truly, honestly, we want to hear. So once you get to Robolink Learn, it looks a little different than Basecamp. What you'll do is you'll click on this icon right here. Quick side note, because I do like to mention this when I can. When you see this icon and it's the top half is the white JRTC drone and the bottom half is the black standard drone, this means that the resource it's attached to applies to both drones. If you ever, so like in help docs, that's a great example. If you see this icon, the information in there pertains to both drones. There's sometimes where it's information specific to one edition of the drone, in which case you'll see just the white JRTC drone or just the black standard drone. Oh, also, before I forget, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We can do Q&A as well. I am a one-man show tonight, so I have the chat open here, so I should be able to catch them, but Q&A might be a little more organized. So once you're in Robolink Learn, you'll click in here, click the icon, and here's what it looks like. What? Why did it zoom in on my face? Don't do that. Okay. So I'm gonna hold on. I need this. I don't want this to happen. Don't you love this where it just doesn't do what you want? Okay. So we're going to do this. All right. So we're doing a little bit different this time. Here is our Robolink Learn page. It looks a little different. I'm going to scroll and kind of show you the different parts to it. So the first is our Getting Started course. So if you scroll down, here's our Getting Started course, very similar to what it has been in the past. So go ahead and click it. And then on here, you have your teacher resources and you can download all printables. If you click teacher resources on this page, here's your curriculum guide, which is new. You previously did not have this. So if you scroll, you see everything that's in here and it's 20 pages. So you can download it and have it that way, or you can keep it here just to keep it kind of organized and where it came from. And so we give you suggestions for how to teach it. Here's the kind of our pedagogical stance on curriculum, pacing. So here's a pacing guide as well. Really helpful stuff as a teacher. So that is in your curriculum guide, which is on this main page of the Getting Started course. Over on the side, it says this applies to both the EDU and JRTC drone, and it takes about 2 weeks. There's 4 lessons. We base that off of a 50-minute class period. So if your class periods are shorter, so maybe you only have half the class, or this is an actual club, it'll look a little bit different to you. Same as if you teach on a block schedule, is what we call it in Texas, where it's like double that, so about an hour and a half. Then you'd be able to get through this faster. You click onto the unit, and then you're able to see the lessons here, and you see all these icons. So this is very different than what it used to be. So I'm just going to head and go to lesson 1.1 and click explore. Now I want this to go over here. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just, again, making sure that this is what I want it to do. Okay, perfect. So here is kind of an overview of what it is. Your teacher resources. So this will look a little different. This one has your lesson plan. It also has slides. So if you're wanting to do a whole group lesson, you're able to do that because we've created slides. So we've taken the content that's online and put it here. So what this do now, we have videos embedded. Anything that's in our lesson is here. We also have an engineering notebook. There's 2 different ways you can access it. One is here, this PDF version. You can download it. You can either print it or the kids can edit it or annotate it digitally. Or it's also embedded within Robolink Learn and the student experience. So if they make a login, if you make a login for them, you're able to, they can access it that way and save their progress. There's also vocabulary on this main page. So if you're wanting to know what's going to be covered over here, and also any materials that you might need. This one's pretty nice. One feature that I love, love, love is this toggle to view as a student versus a teacher. So if you click here, now your student resources, you only have access to that engineering notebook. So the kids themselves can download it, upload it to maybe Cami or any other annotating tool and access it that way and save it. That's there. So another side note about that feature is that this first lesson, you're able to access the teacher resources without a login. I'm currently logged in, but if you were to log in or access this without logging in, you'd still be able to access it. But in further lessons, that's not possible. The reason for that is that we really wanted to differentiate the student experience from the teacher experience. So you'll have to have a login to access those teacher resources for future lessons, but there's still not a paywall. So I want to make sure that that's clear because I know it's been, you don't need a login to access anything or to get all the resources on Basecamp, and you can still do that. We just a login to protect that, like answer keys and such from the kids. So we go to our first activity here. And so we have those embedded activities. So this one here is draw a picture of what you think of when you hear the word drone. So the kids have this embedded drawing activity. Hopefully they do something a little more accurate than a smiley face. If they're logged in, you can click mark as complete. It's completed here, and then they get a check mark at the top. So along the top, it denotes their progress within the lesson, and these icons tell you exactly what's going on in each part of the lesson. So if they've done this, they can either click the next icon here, click what are drones, or at the very bottom, there's another option of what are drones. Here's a video. All the videos are just from YouTube. So they're linked here. So you should have a good time accessing them. And then here are those embedded engineering notebook entries. Real quick, let me backtrack on the YouTube comment. Most are from YouTube. Some of them may come from us and they may not be listed. So some of the videos may be specific to Robolink and may or may not be listed. So I want to clarify that real quick. Okay, so here are those embedded questions or activities there. All of this language is written in student-friendly language. So this is written for grades 5 through 12. And so we've written it so any of those kids can understand what is being detailed and explained here. So here's another video activity, and then so on and so forth. All of this stuff was also included in the slide deck. Some things I want to note. So like here, so we saw the drawing activity, we saw the text activity. Now there's a drag and drop. Is it the best part? It might be the best part. It's graded. It'll tell the kids if they're right or wrong. So they're able to drag and drop here and then submit it for a grade. I didn't finish it, so I got a 0. But that is a really fun activity here that is graded so the kids can get that immediate feedback, which is so valuable. Let's see, this one will go here. There's just another preview of a lesson where we have activities. This one's come up with a creative way to remember which motor goes in each position. So they can write that there. If they log in and save it and complete it, it'll be saved there. I believe it'll say stay saved until you clear your cache and cookies. Because I've put stuff in here, left and come back, and it's been there as well. You also have, let's see, I have an exit ticket. There's also multiple choice. It might not be in this lesson, but there's also multiple choice and multi-select, and all of that will also be graded. And so that was just one lesson that they get. And then since I'm logged in, I can see that check mark here and here. I keep mentioning login, so I feel like now is a good time to mention that as a teacher, when you make an account, you say you're a teacher, you put your age. If you accidentally put the wrong age and you're under the age of 18, it'll automatically lock you in as a student and you only have those capabilities. I am speaking from experience. So if that's you, reach out to support and they'll fix your age for you. Another cool thing about this, so I taught middle school, and so a lot of my kids weren't old enough to make their own accounts yet. And so one thing that is really nice is as an educator, I can create student accounts. So I could make a student 1 and then give them a password, student ABC, password ABC, and then I can pass that out to the kids. We are working on a way to make this a little bit faster. However, you can do this in that way. The kids aren't having to put in their own email. If they make their own account, they have to put an email with it. On this route, you would be in charge of all of their data and updating the passwords. I see a few questions. Let me check on those real quick. Does that automatically update their personal engineering notebook? So Steve, I believe it won't update that PDF version, but it will be saved within the lesson. If, as long as the students are logged in. Deborah says, can the teacher see what the students have in their journal if they're logged in? Does it create a whole digital journal for them? Great questions. Love those questions. As of right now, no, but it is a wish list item of mine because as a teacher, and for those that don't know, I was previously a digital learning coach. So I help teachers and students use technology. So that's always a dream of mine to see how can we monitor all the kids and see what they're doing online. So definitely wish list items, definitely not ruled out. I just don't know when that would be rolled out and what it would look like. So stay tuned. You're an ambassador, so you will find out before everyone else. So that is our account. So I'm going to click back here. Let me go back. If you were following along with me, all I did was click the Robolink Learn logo to bounce back. So that was getting started. If you scroll down, here are some videos that we've embedded. Previously, there was linked on a YouTube playlist and it took you to our YouTube page, which I'll bounce back to Basecamp so you can kind of see what it looked like. Because I know looking at this, I'm like, oh, what's different? There's a lot different. So within here, we have these videos embedded that you might need. So maybe your kids are forgetting about the controller. Well, here's a controller part 1 with features. And will just pop up within the window. But other videos, so that one they'll need to know and probably watch ahead of time. However, replacing motors, they don't need to watch that ahead of time. But it's helpful to have that information when you need it. So it's on this page here. Here's a perfect example of what it would look like if the resource is specific to let me zoom in, drone. So here is that split. So half of it is the black standard drone and the other split is the white JRTC. Whereas right here, this replacing motors is specific to the standard drone and it's just the solid black. And then this one right here is specific to the JRTC edition and it is the solid white. So if we scroll down, here are all the courses we currently have. There are plans for more, but right now, and this is what this aligns with what was previously on Basecamp. So I'm going to click into Blockly. Here's what it looks like. So you have your teacher resources. Again, I'm logged in. I didn't test this part, but let's just test it. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm sharing my window and not my screen. Yep. Let me share the incognito window. Is this the one I want? Yes, it is. Okay, so here's an incognito window. I'm not logged in. If I try and go to teacher resources, it forces me to log in. So that's what I meant by the resources are going to be behind that login. Let me go back to this window here. Perfect. So here is Blockly. So the Getting Started course is embedded in all the lessons. So if you're wanting to do a Blockly specific or Python specific unit, you can have them do the Getting Started within this lesson. So here's an introduction course. Some of them are coming soon. The plan, it'll be a rolling rollout, if you will. So all the lessons are going to be updated and uploaded into the platform throughout the school year. The only confirmation I have of when they'll be all updated is by the end of the school year. So if you're wanting to kind of piece it back and forth between Robolink Learn and Basecamp, that's certainly doable because those lessons are accessible, and I'll show you that in a sec. So if I want to go to flight commands here, I can go to Explore. Again, I can access it here. Interesting. So, because I'm logged in. I was like, did I goof? Nope, I'm just logged in. So here's our teacher resources. Here's our lessons. You'll notice here, there's some more options. So we have that vocabulary still, but this has the blocks. So this is the specific blocks that are going to be covered within this lesson. There's materials, prerequisites, so what the students will need in order to be successful in this lesson, and then also the standards. We are, all of our curriculum is aligned, or we've associated it with the ISTE and CSTA standards. So if I start lesson, here's another activity. I do want to highlight a code along. So this is brand new and super exciting. And I tried to explain it in the last webinar, and I wasn't sure if I was able to do it justice. So here is a code along. And so what it is it's coding all within the lesson portal within Robolink Learn. So here's the challenge. We want it to create a square. And so what they'll do, you connect your drone. I don't have mine plugged in right now, but you connect it just like you would normally. And we've limited the amount of blocks that the students have to what they've already learned about. So now they aren't having to navigate the plethora of blocks that there are, which is a lesson in itself. But here we can really focus on the skill that we're practicing in this lesson. So here once again, you can drag it over, you would click run and see how you did. If you're logged in, you can mark as complete. And so there's a couple different code alongs here. This is available for Blockly and Python. And there's even like some competitions as well. Here's a knowledge check. So some of the lessons have knowledge checks in them. And so here's a drag and drop question. It'll be graded. Here's a free response. So this one's compare the following code, explain what the flight path of each will look like. Open response, that one won't be graded. And so a true or false is multiple choice will be graded here. And then this one graded. Yes, David, this is being recorded and this will be shared out. Great questions. Okay, and then again, within here with the teacher experience, you can toggle between the teacher and student views. Trying to think if there's anything else on this page I'm wanting to highlight. I believe that's what I got. And so the titles are very similar to what they used to be in Basecamp. So if you planned out your unit with Basecamp, the titles and the progression is very similar, but it's definitely more robust. It's very engaging and more interactive than it used to be. And then also we've tailored it to be sure it's for a 50-minute period. So that's great if you are wanting, and we've taken into consideration the setup involved in getting the drones ready and then also cleaning up. So you should be good. And again, you have those resources to either do it as a whole group or you can make it asynchronous, small group, student paced. You have that freedom and that flexibility as a teacher. Top, we have this banner right here, this kind of rainbow gradient. Let me zoom in. It says, welcome to our new lesson portal. Our old lessons will remain available until the end of June 2026. So if you are wanting to see old Basecamp, maybe you're needing a lesson and we haven't updated the lesson yet, or if you're just wanting to compare or kind of see what did we used to do, that link will be there. The link to get back to the new Robolink Learn is up here as well. So again, you click it and then here's all the information or the platform as it used to be. Any questions about Robolink Learn? Because next I'm going to dive into Basecamp, or I'm sorry, not Basecamp, Drone Lab. So David, right now the way grading would work is it wouldn't be something you'd probably put in the grade book. Right now, the way it looks, unless you found like there's some platforms where you can take a PDF and have it be graded. That's something you have to build. Right now, it's just that immediate feedback for the students to be informed about their own progress. Also, I forgot I had a poll and I'm really excited about my fun question. So I just launched out a poll for y'all. Well, we're all kind of if you have any questions, kind of lingering questions, put those in the chat. The poll is all about Robolink Learn and Drone Lab. The one that I'm most excited about is I want you to rank some controversial candy. So I'm wanting to know where you would rank candy corn, Tootsie Rolls, Peeps, and Circus Peanuts. So I'm sorry. We have two people who have said Circus Peanuts are the yummiest. That's rage bait. There's no way. Oh, okay. We have how many people? Three people have said candy corn's the best. That's personally what I think. Okay, while y'all are answering that, let me answer some of these questions. Okay, so how can you charge the drones overnight? That is a great question. So the drones use these batteries, and we don't suggest leaving them charging for a long period of time. If it is overnight, we don't want to say the wrong thing. We don't suggest leaving them unattended. That is our official statement. So it takes an hour to get from a 0% charge to a 100% charge on the battery. So it works great if you have your kids put a battery on at the end of their class, and by the end of the next class, those batteries will be good to swap. So that's a good workaround for if you're wanting to try and charge the drones overnight. It's we don't suggest it and don't recommend it. So it does take a full hour, but that is about a class period. Okay, where do you access that feedback to the students? Okay, so David, I think your question is asking how can you as the teacher see the feedback that students are getting based off their input? That is the one thing that is on a wish list. It's being discussed, but as of right now, it is not released. Okay, another question. Ooh, a buzzword, differentiated. How does differentiated instruction work with this? Does every student use their own log and then move on with lessons? It is completely up to you. So if you were to put them, let me get in here. If you were to put them in this getting started course and say, do lesson 1.1, you could put this on the screen and discuss it as a class. You can let them do it asynchronously on their own. You can bypass the interactive feature down here and do the slide decks. And then if you want to do the slide decks with maybe a small group and the rest of your kids work in a group or they work asynchronously, you can do that. So we've structured it so that there's lots of different ways to deliver the content, but it's up to you to decide what works best in your classroom and with your kids. Oh my gosh, Suzanne, thank you for sharing that. So she did put the caveat, not Robolink batteries, but she charged some batteries overnight and it did not go well. Okay, perfect. Thank you to everyone who's answering in the chat. I appreciate it. Okay, perfect. So I just shared the results with you if you're interested to know how your candy launched or how it worked. It looks like the majority of us do have drones, but some of us don't. So welcome. I'm so excited you're here. Okay, let me make sure. Let's see if I can answer any more of these questions. Okay, perfect. Devorah put a great strategy in the chat of what different ways that you could have, like get the batteries charged. So thank you for that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing. Perfect. Here we go. And I have one more poll, and that's the poll that we'll use to do our drone giveaway. So on here, we have Drone Lab. And so Drone Lab is something completely new that we've never done before. And so let me I put my controller away. This is your central hub for everything to do with your drone. So previously, when you had your drone, you would put your you would like go to CoDrone.robolink.com and then you'd go to whatever platform you wanted to code in, whether it's Blockly or Python, and you connect your drone that way. Here, I'm able to connect my drone and get some really interesting information. So I'm going to click connect my drone. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right state. Perfect. I'm going to connect. It's not powered on. Give me a second. Here we go. Let's try again. Okay, so here we are. There's that skip connection button. So if you wanted to connect or access this without connecting, you certainly can. But here you're able to get your count log. So on your controller, you're able to see this information. Well, now, as long as you're plugged in, you can access it on your dashboard. So for that drone specifically, you can see your flight time, takeoffs, landings, and accidents. I had a PD the other day ask me, bad does an accident need to be an accident in the system? And this is not a challenge by any means. Please don't try and get an accident just to get an accident. But I ran into the wall and the drone didn't register it as an accident. So just in case you were wondering that as well. So here's your information here. This window is the same as it was previously. You're able to access your sensor data here. So when you click here, let's see if I can zoom in. I can see my accelerometer. So if I move my drone around, I can see that data updating. The bottom range, if I move it, here it's above my desk, and then now it's above the floor. You can see that jump up. Same with the front range. And then if I place it down, the color sensors will work. So I don't have my desk mat programmed as a color. So that's why this last one's kind of wonky, but it's pink, so it's super close to red. So that is the sensor dashboard there. Let me zoom back out. You're able to access the Blockly or Python coding platforms from here. So if you click, so I'm going to click Blockly. And then here's where I can program, and my connection traveled from me from Drone Lab to Blockly. So I don't have to reconnect here, which is really nice. Oh, I'm back. Second, it's establishing. So I could do the same thing with Python here. And then I can go to Robolink Learn. So all that curriculum that we were just at, that is there. This website, let me put this in the chat real quick. CoDrone. I think there might be a typo. I think there's no typo. I think it's okay. There's also the firmware updater. So if you have running on outdated firmware, you click on Drone Lab, and then here is your firmware updater. If you've not updated your firmware, you might want to. If you're like, I don't know what that is, or that makes me nervous, you just click drone. There's a GIF or GIF, whichever team you're on, of what to do. There's also text of what to do. You say you've done it, you connect, and you run it. Very easy. When you're done with your drone, it'll prompt you and say, do you want to update your controller? The answer is yes. And then it's the exact same thing. Here's your controller, or a GIF or GIF of telling you what to do. There's text of what to do. You say you've done it, you connect it, you're good to go. So let me go back to Drone Lab here. Am I not it disconnected me. That's okay. So if I skip that, another thing that's really exciting is this explore section. So it says coming soon. This, I may have spoiled it in the last webinar, but what it is it's going to be some activities that reinforce the skills that you're learning with the drone. Maybe have some drone themes to it, but it's non-flight. So it's all going to be within Robolink Drone Lab. It's going to be online, but it's going to be some of our most requested features. And so very excited about that. Okay, so does Drone Lab do stuff like PyCharm, coding multiple drones at once? That's a great question, Suzanne. I don't believe so, because PyCharm you have to download onto your computer, whereas these are both web-based. So they don't match. So I understand what you're saying. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think I just answered that. Has anyone done entirely drone-based? Okay. Debbie, I don't have that answer. But if anyone has done an entirely drone-based AP computer science, I don't know what the P is, course, Debbie Moss is very interested, and I can connect y'all for sure. Here we have a Q&A. Is it a subscription to both Drone Lab and Robolink paid? Great question. And no, neither of them are paid. And so this one, I'm not logged in at all for Drone Lab. The only thing that I might do is connect my drone, but I'm able to access this, not logged in at all. Robolink Learn, I can access without logging in right now, but I can't get teacher resources aside from that first lesson. And then eventually, after you're past that first lesson, you'll need to have that teacher log in. Okay, so I see another question about when will the lessons be ready? When they are. I wish I could tell you. I wish it was like, oh, we're gonna release them every 2 weeks. I don't have a timeline like that. So my suggestion is definitely if you can do the lessons within Robolink Learn, that is for sure my suggestion because as you saw, it's very robust, it's really interactive. We've updated everything with really relevant applications and connections. But if you're needing, this isn't a good one. If you're needing to do a lesson, like if you're ready for sensors and Blockly, it's not here yet. So you can go to the old lessons. And on the old lessons, I can show you real quick. Go to CoDrone EDU, scroll down to Blockly. And then the sensors are going to be at the bottom under advanced. And so you'll see that information here. And all of these lessons will be available until next summer. So if you want to get PDFs of them, you certainly can, just so you have them on hand to compare. Sometimes I like to have that just so I can see what I've done in the past. But that is my suggestion for right now. I'm so sorry. Okay, we have a question about CoDrone Pro lessons work with CoDrone EDU. I believe, let me go back to this main page here. Here's a pro lesson. So if you go to Basecamp, CoDrone Pro has its own section with its own curriculum. I don't know enough about CoDrone Pro. That is before my time. So I don't know enough about it to know if it would work or not. And so here are what these lessons look like here. If anyone has experience with that, feel free to answer in the chat. And I can follow up too. I'll also ask if I can get a better answer. Okay, thanks, y'all. These are great questions. I'm loving the engagement. Let's do a drone giveaway. To answer your question, recommend getting the CoDrone EDU. Perfect. Deborah has adapted them all. So we have one more poll. Let me go back. Okay, here we go. This is for the drone giveaway. So this is, I asked what your email is. Is there something that you're excited about or specifically about this? And then also what outstanding questions do you have? So this could be questions, requests, anything of that nature. And then any requests for future community webinars. So my hope is to do these once a month-ish. Sometimes it works out better months than others. So but I would love feedback. I mean, these webinars are meant to answer y'all's questions and to help y'all use the product and help roll it out in your classrooms or with your competitive teams. So if you're needing something specific, I'd love to hear it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I see a couple people have filled that out. Thank you so much. I believe they're all required except for the requested topics. I didn't want to put anyone on the spot because maybe you're on the fence, you don't have drones yet. Maybe you're like, oh no, you come up with the idea. I will. But I'd love to answer the questions that y'all want to know. Okay, perfect. So we're sitting at a little less than 50% filled out. Again, this is, I'll be pulling from this to get the drone. I think that was a great question about the CoDrone Pro. I have not navigated that or played around with that very much. Let's go to the new lesson here. So, one thing I don't think I really hit on is that, so Drone Lab, there's a link for it right here. Or if you go to it, it's codrone.robolink.com. So there's codrone.robolink.com and then there's learn.robolink.com. And that is what gets you to the lessons right here. I love that everything is linked on this page because it's less clicking for the kids. I don't know why it takes some of those kids so long to click, but they do. So if they can all be in one place, they don't have to type anything. Perfect. Okay, we have about 90% of participants. I want to make sure I get everyone that I can. Let me look at participants here. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going to end it in 3, 2, 1. All right, now I'm okay, perfect. Here we go. Let me. Okay, I'm going to pick number 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh my gosh, Amy, you're in. Hey, okay, I will get you your I have your shipping information. She's an ambassador for those that are watching, but I will confirm your shipping information as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I hope that y'all got some great information. I hope that this answered any questions that you have about implementing this in your classroom. My name is Frankie Baker. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to email me. I'm frankie@robolink.com. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy your dinner. I'm going to leave this on for a second because I think there might be some people still. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Good night, y'all.